Quite honestly, I'm not really sure how to do an intro for this video, so here we go. I wasn't planning on making a video about the Northwestern scandal, but given today's news, I all but have to do one now. This was not a planned out video. This quite honestly is a spur of the moment type of video. I'm recording this around 10:27 p.m. on a Monday, and I hope to get this video out by Tuesday or Wednesday, but hopefully soon. I had to stop writing the script for the other video I'm working on, and also stop trying to get stuff done for the second channel, but the situation cannot be ignored, so cue the intro. The Northwestern football program is currently engulfed in a hazing scandal that includes allegations of hazing, racism, and abuse, which led to longtime head coach Pat Fitzgerald being suspended and now officially being fired. To follow the timeline of events that led up to this, we need to go back to the end of the 2022 season. On January 11th, it was reported that the Northwestern University has initiated an investigation into allegations of hazing within the program that occurred after the 2022 season. After the investigation was reported, we didn't really hear much about it until July 7th, when it was reported that the investigation had found evidence of hazing in the football program and head coach Pat Fitzgerald was placed on 2-week suspension. We would find out that the claims made were largely supported by evidence gathered during the investigation, including separate and consistent first-person accounts. Pat Fitzgerald is quoted saying, quote, "I was very disappointed when I heard about the allegations of hazing on our football teams. We hold our student athletes in our program to the highest standards. We will continue to work to exceed those standards moving forward." He also said he was unaware of the alleged incidents. Now, Pat Fitzgerald denies he knew anything about the hazing, and also the article says that there was not sufficient evidence that the coaching staff was aware of hazing, but the investigation did determine that there had been significant opportunities for coaches to discover and report the hazing conduct. All of us didn't really have a lot of info about the hazing until the next day. On July 8th, the Daily Northwestern released an article that pretty much blew this whole thing wide open. I highly suggest you read the article, but to sum it up, it details the hazing that took place and we get some first-hand accounts from former players. Some of the hazing practices that took place was stuff like being restrained by a group of 8 to 10 upperclassmen dressed in various purge-like masks who would then begin dry humping the victims in a dark locker room. This was called running, and apparently it was a tradition especially common during training camp and around Thanksgiving and Christmas. According to the former player, team members allegedly identified players for running by clapping their hands above their heads around that player. The practice, the player said, was known within the team as the strut clap. In addition to running, the whistleblower alleged that he witnessed the team participate in other hazing traditions, in which freshmen were forced to strip naked and perform various acts, including bear crawling, slingshotting themselves across the floor with exercise bands. There also was a tradition called the car wash, in which some players would stand naked at the entrance to the showers and spin around, forcing those entering the showers to basically roll up against a bare naked man. Upon entering the showers, the player alleged that players set up a hose that connected to the shower to spray people. Jesus Christ. So obviously this was huge news. Representatives from the Northwestern football team penned an open letter in support of Fitzgerald, saying that Fitzgerald wasn't involved and didn't know anything about the allegations that were levied against him and the football program. Fast forward to today, or the day of recording on July 10th, more info was coming out about the hazing, but now with allegations of enabling racism. One of those former players was Ramon Diaz Jr., a Latino offensive lineman for Northwestern and played for them from 05 to 08. He said about his experience on the football team was hostile as a non-white player. He is quoted saying, "I didn't feel like I could be anything other than white. We never felt like we could be ourselves. We had to fit in by being white or acting white or laughing at our own people." Diaz said that Northwestern culture had a profound mental impact on him. Later he was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder after graduating from Northwestern, and said that his time on the football team was a major factor in that diagnosis. There's also accounts from anonymous players that talk about the way black players are treated. Quote, "Your blackness was not allowed to shine through. However, it was how you carry yourself all the way down to your hair." I cannot do this article justice, so please, I'm begging you, read the stories from the Daily Northwestern, since they've done such an amazing job covering the situation. So while the football program was being consumed by scandal, Associate Athletic Director Paul Kennedy left Northwestern at a pretty damn convenient time, and also later on in the day, Pat Fitzgerald was fired to the shock of no one. This all around is an awful situation, and this might not only be a football problem, because it is also being reported that baseball coach Jim Foster is accused of creating an abusive environment. I just can't, man. Well, at least Chris Collins is cool, I guess. Face Chris Collins. This scandal highlights some of the worst aspects of college football on all levels. Without the amazing journalism from the Daily Northwestern, this situation would have been probably swept under the rug. So what does this mean for Northwestern? Well, they need to do a full-on rebuild of the entire program. When a disgusting scandal like this happens, you need to deep clean your whole ass program, the same way Baylor did to their program in 2016. My final thought is this: Northwestern failed to do anything and probably weren't going to do anything if the story didn't break. I hope all the victims of the hazing are okay and finally get to tell their story. So anyway, guys, that's all I have. Tell me your thoughts down below. You guys can follow my Twitter if you want. Sub to the second channel if you want. Follow my Twitch and my TikTok if you want. But that's all for now, and I'll see you guys later.